It's time to hear from the general manager of the Utah Mammoth, Bill Armstrong, on your exclusive home of the Utah Mammoth, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Time to check in with the man, Bill Armstrong, right here on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone, general manager of the Utah Mammoth. Bill, how you doing?
Hello, Bill.
I'm doing absolutely great today. What's going on today?
Well, last week when we talked, when we were done, I said to Hans, I'm like, Bill's always in a good mood, but he seems like he was in a better mood than usual. Little did we know you had Logan Cooley in the bag and ready to go. Congratulations on that.
Well, thanks very much. It was a hugely important contract, and I believe it's a great deal for the organization and also for Logan. It gives us some stability with our talent, knowing that he chose Utah, and we're going to retain his rights for a while, and he's going to give us a chance, with his elite talent to get into a championship window and be able to play for a long time for Utah. So he's a big piece of our team and just a heck of a kid.
So in that stretch, you guys went on a 7-game win streak, and
yeah,
I was there at the presser. I was watching Logan Cooley's face, and he kind of had this quirky smile, and y'all looked like y'all knew something. He was playing out of his mind. Was he kind of playing to show the world that this is the best thing that the Mammoth could possibly do?
Well, I think at one point, he had a lot of pressure on his back, and Logan's a really thoughtful kid, and he put a lot of time into thinking about where he wanted to be and that. And I think, he had a great meeting with Ryan, and those two spoke for a while. And I think after that, he came out and had made up his mind that was the deal that he wanted, and he was excited about it. And I think after that, he really you could see the weight come off his back and really get excited. And he put on a hell of a show. He's going to have to put on another one in Buffalo tonight. So,
well, look, I know that this franchise is relatively new here in Salt Lake City, but the Jazz have been here for so many years, and the MO and every Jazz fan out there is like, well, we get a good player, and then they go and want to play somewhere else, and they leave. To be able to sign somebody that wants to be in Utah, that's a budding superstar in this league, and is committed long-term to the franchise, I can't tell you how fired up it makes this fan base here in Salt Lake, Bill.
Yeah, and you can feel it. I mean, I can't tell you the number of people went by me in the last, week just so enthused about the fact that we were able to get him, signed, and he committed to Utah. It's a big thing for the franchise, and I think Dylan Guenther, you got to give him a lot of credit. He was the first one to kind of commit and make that long-term commitment to our club. And, he's a heck of a player too. And it allows, JJ Paterka also has a long-term deal with us too. So we've got a lot of the talent locked in for a while. And that's exciting for this organization because now we have a chance to get into some windows here to push to be a championship organization.
Speaking of Paterka, and you talked about this road game, going back to Buffalo, how's that going to go? And how excited is he to go back?
Well, I think you're always got a little, excitement to play against your old team. So he should be fired up. He's been good for us this year. He can score, and with him, Logan and Guenther on that same line, I got to believe they're the fastest line in the NHL. And they're going to have to play a little faster tonight in Buffalo. We got to get a win here. We got a grueling stretch of road games coming up, so it's an important one to win.
Yeah, it's kind of the tour Canada after that, Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa. Talk about the environment in those places when you guys head into those kinds of places.
Well, Toronto's depressed right now because they lost the World Series, so they're barely making it to the Leaf game, so it won't be as loud in there, but as far as Montreal, that's Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa. They're just hockey cities. People are just from the time that you come out of the womb that your parents are watching it on TV all the time, and it's always around you. And there's nothing better. When I was a kid, I got to go into the Leaf games, and it was a special thing as a family. So it's just you walk into Montreal, it feels like you're going into a cathedral or something. It's just it has this special feel to it, and it's really just a unique place to play hockey. And I think our players get jacked up to play there.
You know, you come off that loss to Tampa, who's been playing pretty well, 6-4-2 on the season, and it's a game that looked to be there for a moment and just couldn't quite get over the hump. And I know Mammoth fans are getting a little bit they're getting a little greedy right now. But
a little greedy.
Yeah, but talk about that game and how that one got away from you a bit.
Well, yeah, and the one in Edmonton too. I felt like we came out, played a pretty good first period, and then blew it in the second. And I thought we were a little rusty coming out against Tampa Bay. They were ready for us. They're a veteran team that were prepared to play us, and they played a heck of a game. And we ended up tying it up in the third and let it slip away. That's disappointing for our club. We talk about every game. It's the seventh game for us, and we've got to find ways to win. I think we can play a lot better than we did in Edmonton, and a lot better than we did against Tampa Bay. And we put a lot of pressure internally on our club just because the simple fact that we're pushing to make the playoffs, and we feel like that there's enough talent here to get in. We're young, but that is no excuse for us. We've got to find a way every single night. And I think the Mammoth fans are getting used to winning at home. So they don't like that loss.
Yeah, it's kind of, I kind of noticed that. Like, people are getting pretty comfortable, pretty spoiled with the Mammoth taking care of business at home. But that home environment's pretty incredible, isn't it, Bill?
Oh, it is. And just being around, out for Halloween with the family, and the amount of people that are just so excited about the Mammoth and where we're at as an organization. You can feel it in the air. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing that our fans expect to win, and we expect to win walking into our building. And I think our team is, and that's credit to our coach and our players who have put that good start on the board, and now we got to continue. And it's going to be a battle. We're on the road here for a bit, and we got some back-to-back games against some good clubs. So we're going to be in one. It's one game at a time, and tonight it starts against Buffalo, and see if we can get a win.
By the way, we saw the pictures circulating on social media. Was that you or your wife's idea for the outside of your home for Halloween?
And the referee outfits.
Yeah, my that had nothing to do with me. My wife loves Halloween. She loves Utah because Utah loves Halloween too. So, also Christmas. But yeah, that she went above and beyond with the decorations. So I think we might have won the street over with those decorations.
It's funny. There were a lot of people taking a close look and being like, "Wow, if I was going to buy the house, I'd have a hard time not snagging that gear." There were the gear nerds out there were like, "Wow, those skeletons are really got the top of the line stuff."
Yeah, they were. That's the goodness of Utah. Nobody took anything.
You do that in St. Louis, may not be the same thing.
Gone every day.
Yeah. Hey, when you look at your third and fourth lines, how they've been developing. How important is it to develop that kind of depth and have those two lines starting to perform really well?
Well, we have, and they're identity lines. Jack McBain's a big physical player, so is Lawson Krause, and Kirk Coney's got a little bit of skill and toughness and some bang in them too. So you've got that line going, and then Stenlund, Tanev, and Yamamoto. They're another energy line that's banging around there. So I really love what those lines have done, and they started to produce some goals. They've got to, for us to win, they've got to produce some secondary scoring, and they've been able to do that lately. So I'm really excited about those lines. We've worked hard to put them together, and Stenny's also a heck of a PK and a face-off guy. So it's really nice to have those lines kind of evolve, and that's part of winning is. Those lines have a huge, impact on your team. They do all the little things behind the scenes and all the details of the game. So they don't get a lot of credit because they don't get a lot of the glory, but they're our engine behind the scenes.
You talk about another engine. I talked to you when I had an opportunity to catch up with you at the presser. I talked to you about the way when Serg takes the ice, it just feels like everything bumps up a notch. Same with Simashev when he's out there. Talk about what you're getting from Sergachev and Simashev and just how well they've played, but also what else you might need from them.
Well, they're special players for sure. I think they're both good at the offense. When they produce Sergey's shooting the puck in the PP, they can produce. And I think Simashev's starting to get a little bit more comfortable in the league and in using his skating to get up in the rush. But where they're elite at is they're maybe, coming in and this year and next year could be the two best defenders in the National Hockey League. That's how good they are at defending. In practice, when coach puts them against the forwards, I feel sorry for the forwards on our team having to try and beat those guys. Those guys just make easy work of some of our forwards, and so it's really impressive to see those guys and what they can do, and they're pretty natural at playing defense, and I think that's going to really help evolve when we talk about the third or fourth lines and the roles that they play, but it's also Sergachev and Simashev getting out there against the other team's best line and shutting them down. And that's really where they have the most impact for us right now.
Are you a superstitious guy? When you win 7 in a row, are you wearing the same tide every game? I mean, you're a former player, and a lot of times those players have those kind of weird quirks. Are you like that?
I've tried to get away from it because you box yourself into so many different rituals during the course of a day. I've tried to get away from it a little bit. My wife has the house organized. The kids, you got to sit at a certain place on the couch when they watch the game. The dogs can't move. They've got to have a certain place. She's really superstitious about it. So I've tried to kind of stay away from it as you move through the year, but there are some things that that do creep in, especially when you're on a win streak. You try not to change too many things.
So, Bill, time for the learning the game kind of ridiculous question moment, but I think there's a lot of people out there that are starting to see this NHL thing and see this Mammoth thing, and they're tuning in and they're watching. And one detail that you can't catch on TV that you catch when you're in the arena is the exchanges, the changeover, guys jumping the wall, hitting the ice, and the constant exchange of talent and lines on the ice. Help people understand what the concept is of those exchanges. How long do you want a guy on the ice? How long is their rest? Because I'm looking at Simachev's usage from the other night against Tampa Bay as compared to Serg's usage. And I'm just trying to understand, how long do you want a guy on the ice? How long do they rest? And is that all with direct intent from Coach Bear?
Yeah, I mean, normally you get somewhere between 45 seconds to a minute at max. Anytime you get over a minute on that ice, you're gassed. The game just moves so quick. Back in the day when hockey was kind of invented, those guys would take 3-4 minute shifts,
Wow.
And now it's just come down to maximum energy that you can use in 45 seconds to a minute shift. Power play will be a little bit longer. Elite defensemen are playing anywhere from 24 to 26 minutes, maybe over that a night. That's usually your top guys, and your top forwards are playing over 20 minutes a night because they're playing PP and PK and on 5-on-5 they're over 14 minutes. So there's your top end players end up playing pretty good ice time, and then the bottom ends are somewhere between 10 to 12 minutes per night.
Well, we appreciate it as always. Thanks for hanging out with us. Enjoy the week, and let's do it again next week.
And your steaks are on the way, Bill.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that is great. I am so excited. We're gonna have. I think we got to have you guys over and cook them up.
Okay.
Now we're talking.
Big night at the Armstrongs.
I love that idea.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's get spicy tuna over there. I want to see how much he can eat. See if he can put down more than me.
I love it. It's a date.
Hey, Bill Armstrong. Hey, thanks, Bill. You're the best.
Hey, bye.
General manager of the Utah Mammoth, Bill Armstrong.
They got a big one tonight, Buffalo, and that is J.J. Peterka's return. And then they've got the tour of Canada.
Yes.
With Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal. So it's going to be a really tough road trip. I think it's going to be a really tough road trip. I don't have high expectations of it. Did he say that Toronto fans are still reeling from the finals loss and they're not showing up?
There might be a bit of a hangover there. Did you watch the the crowd shot when they thought they had scored that winning run, and the place, they're in the middle of the game, and the place erupts because people are watching it on a board, and they're seeing what they think is the winning run come across the plate, and then when it gets reversed, the place just loses their mind with anger.
Yeah.
And so it was really funny to watch that.
They're pretty volatile.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Toronto fans are pretty crazy.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that through the World Series.
Yeah. Maybe it's a good thing you didn't cross the border into that town.
It might be. It might be. It might have been for my best benefit. But at least they got rabid fans.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Hey, remind me next time we talk to Bill, I want to talk to him about why he thinks why the NHL kind of stays number 4 in the Big Four. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I'm starting to come into this NHL world and, having conversations with Bill and getting to know some of the inside office of the Mammoth and getting out to the pressers, getting to know some of the players. And then I've probably been to 15 games maybe at Delta Center, 15, maybe 18 games at Delta Center. Watching it live really kind of increases your understanding of it. So, in the TV version of hockey, I think it dulls it down.
Yes, I agree with that.
I think anybody that goes to the arena and sees the impact, the physicality, the extreme speed of these NHL players, it's totally different than a Grizzlies game.
Yeah.
And I am one that has always appreciated the Grizzlies. I used to take dates when I was in college. I used to take dates out to the Grizzlies games. I mean, I've always loved and appreciated them being in the community and what they've done. But it also created an idea of what hockey was that it isn't in the NHL. It's different.
Yeah.
Hits are different. They're harder. They're so much more violent. Speed is different.
When you see Connor McDavid going straight line speed down the ice, it's like, okay, this is different.
Yeah, it is the highest level of this sport. And we've got it here in this country, even though Canada believes it's theirs or Russia believes it's theirs.
It's ours.
It's ours,
Yeah.
and it's here. And I don't quite understand, and a lot of this stems from watching the Cooley contract, the 8-year contract, and seeing the total number and being like, 8 years? Wait a second, those numbers don't add up for one of your elite scorers in the NHL and a guy that you're nailing down for 8 years. And then you understand what the salary cap is in the NHL, and you understand the contract makeups of the NHL, and you're like, wait a second, this is far behind the NBA, way behind Major League Baseball, far behind the NFL. The NFL is king here in this country. Mm-hmm. And I guess I'm having a hard time understanding why.
Well, I think that
because it's better than basketball.
Well, I enjoy going to a NHL game more than I enjoy a basketball game right now.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on, and it's really entertaining. I've loved every second of it. But there is I think you hit on it, there is such a huge disparity between the TV product and the live product. And when you go and watch, my wife, Amanda's the same way. My wife loves going to hockey games. And, I'm like, hey, let's go to the Jazz game. And she's like, oh, okay, she's cool. Hockey game, bam, let's go. Because when you're there, you experience something you can't experience on TV. Football, I'd much rather watch football on TV than be at an NFL game where it's a long timeouts and it just drags on forever. Like the TV product for the NFL is superior. NBA is equal. Major League Baseball, it's better there.
Way better.
At the stadium, and that's why they're probably third and NHL's fourth, because the discrepancy between TV and live is just different.
Does it have, in your opinion, does it have anything to do with the fact that the majority of NHL players are from Canada or European countries like Sweden, Russia, Finland. I'm going to give you a couple of numbers. 42% of all NHL players are Canadian. Only 28% of NHL players are American. The rest are kind of fed in from Sweden. Russia has a big percentage, and Finland, but Sweden is nearly 10%. And I know there's some Finnish in there as well, but including one on the ice for the Mammoth. But does it have anything to do with it not being America's sport or an America-owned and operated sport?
There could be elements of that for sure.
Because I feel like the NBA's headed that way.
That's the thing. The NBA, how many straight MVPs have been from outside the United States? A bunch.
Yeah, I want to say the last 4 or 5, and those races have included 2 or 3 of the top 3 in the race.
So I think that's a direction the NBA is certainly on a collision course for, but it doesn't seem like it's talked about at all at a high level. Now, NHL, maybe it is. That's a great question. And, look, the majority of NBA players are still American players. It's just the high-end players are from overseas. In the NHL, as you mentioned, only 28% of your players are American-born. So, yeah, there might be a big part of that.
Major League Baseball, the Dominican Republic is feeding a lot of Major League Baseball players. Venezuela is high in those numbers. Puerto Rico and Cuba, very high in those numbers. But the United States still supplies like 80% of Major League Baseball, 85% of Major League Baseball. Still very high percentage.
All right, 225, Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The wheel is loaded, and it's time to talk some sports. This is Sports Roulette with Hans and Scotty on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It is Sports Roulette, but it's also a Tuesday. So let's give away some tickets, shall we?
It's Jazz Ticket Tuesday, and your chance to win tickets is right now.
Call this number now.
Call this number now.
Be caller number 12 at 801-575-ZONE. 801-575-ZONE. And you'll be on your way to Delta Center to see the Utah Jazz.
He fires the 3. He hits! Oh, don't do me like that.
This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
You want tickets? Call and claim them. It's a Jazz Ticket Tuesday. Caller number 12, 801-575-ZONE. You'll see the Jazz and the Timberwolves coming up on Monday at Delta Center. And if you don't win tickets, well, just wait an hour. We'll give away another pair. And then another pair the hour after that. It's a Jazz Ticket Tuesday where we give away tickets at 30 past the hour or reasonably close to 30 past the hour.
Sending you to Jazz games.
And we're sending you to Jazz games all year long.
Go see Ace Bailey. Go see the Boston champs.
Yeah.
Just took out the Celtics like they weren't even standing there.
Like they're nothing.
I love that, by the way. I loved it for Danny Ainge. I loved it for Will Hardy.
Yep.
These guys are all guys that in one way, shape, or form are very closely tied to that organization. And that organization's been a powerhouse of late. And having an opportunity to get that W as close as it might have been, even a comeback win is just incredible for this group. And this young group needs those wins.
Yes.
Like, okay, I'll deal with the 4 or 5 game losing streak. This group needs a couple of victories so that they remember what it tastes like. They don't stop fighting for it. I don't want Ace Bailey to get jaded.
No, or apathetic about wins and losses.
And, Keontae George now has been around losing for a long time. Last night he didn't look like a loser. He looked like a winner.
31.
So I'm hoping that he hasn't lost what it is to be a champion, because these guys at some point they were the best in the high school, the best in college, and then you get to the NBA and you could be the best by a long stretch in a 500 square mile area, and you get to the NBA and you realize I'm nothing.
Yeah,
it happened to me in the NFL. You get there and you're just like,
that's got to be like a shot to the face with cold water when you've dominated every level you've been at, and all of a sudden you become another guy.
You're another guy. And it's interesting because as a professional athlete, you have to find a way to believe that you belong.
Yeah.
And you got to convince yourself, because the losses come, and I'm not talking about the game wins and losses. I'm talking about the individual battle. The losses come more frequent. And you're like, geez, I can't believe I just got hooked up 3 times. I got stood up. The hell is that all about? And you have to be able to tell yourself, okay, they're the best in the world too, but you belong. And the saying used to always be, why not me? I'm here. Why not me? You got to start to believe it. And, Keontae George in his performance last night, he's believing it. It's just, I don't want him to just say, oh, well, that's what the NBA is losing, taking losses, and keep getting my paycheck.
Yeah. There was a game I was calling once where Utah State was playing a team that had an NBA prospect on it, and the game was coming down to the wire, and this player for this other team was talking to a Utah State player, and they're like, it's going to be a crazy end to this one. And the guy's like, I don't care. I got my numbers. That's all I care about. The guy flat out admitted, goes, I got my numbers. I got my 20 and 10. I'm good.
That makes me sick.
And,
I can't stand that.
Yeah. And, you worry about now the likelihood of anybody verbalizing like that is pretty slim. However, thinking that and being like, well, yeah, we got lost, but, I scored 31. Yeah. No, you got to nip that in the bud. Can't have it.
Don't let that become your goal.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to it. Lloyd, spin that wheel.
Colts pick up a side of sauce.
I just wanted you to say sauce. Yes, the Indianapolis Colts, hands. We don't see a lot of these blockbuster trades midseason in the NFL, but the Colts are going all in, and the Jets are tearing it down. They're in trust the process mode as they pick up 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner. First round in 26 and a first round in 27 to pick up a huge acquisition at corner, one of the best in the league.
Yeah, but that's a big haul.
Yes. Yeah,
2 first-rounders?
2 first-rounders.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to work out for them.
They feel like their offense is clicking. They wanted a playmaker on defense. And, Sauce Gardner's that guy, but, boy, that's a heavy price. 2 firsts?
2 firsts. I wonder if it was this last weekend's loss that – I wonder if they're looking at it thinking, no, we've got a championship team. We're just 1, maybe 2 pieces away. That's the only reason – because that Pittsburgh game –
oh, that's 100% what it is.
That Pittsburgh game – it's not like they got whooped, but they've got to be looking at that thinking, man, Aaron Rodgers and a losing Pittsburgh team, they find a way, and I guess that was in Pittsburgh if I remember right. I'm just trying to kind of walk through it. Is it worth it?
These are
for Sauce Gardner?
Yeah, Chris Ballard's the GM. This is I'm either going to win a Super Bowl or I'm going to get fired move. Really, this is you're putting your livelihood on the line with this move.
You know who the real winner is? Sauce Gardner.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You go from the worst team to one of the best teams?
Yeah. He becomes the real winner in this. Daniel Jones has been impressive.
I still can't believe that. I keep thinking that's going to fall apart every week. And yet the kid just keeps going out there and slinging it.
Keeps doing his thing. Man, he's been impressive. His numbers are good. He's a fighter. He fought for a while in New York.
Oh, yeah. And then pretty soon the stage was too big and swallowed him up.
Right now he's completing 70% of his passes, 2,402 yards on the season, 14 touchdowns. He's also given you 33 carries for 100 yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones. Jonathan Taylor is almost at 1,000 yards.
That guy's a beast.
Through 9 games.
I will always be able to tell my kids I called the very first collegiate game for Jonathan Taylor. Played Utah State. First game of his college career.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Was that your first year on the?
My first year.
That
That was my first game. Was Jonathan Taylor's first game.
The Colts have 3 wide receivers in the 500-yard mark right now. They got Pittman, Warren, and Pierce all in the 500-yard mark. Pittman's pulled in 6 touchdown receptions already through 9 games played.
That's,
you know
I
what?
mean, offensively, they're great.
You know what? I think it might be worth it.
Yep. Go all in. I love it.
I think it might be the right move.
Fortune favors the bold. Remember when the Rams a few years ago went all in, and they didn't have a first-round pick for years, but they won their Super Bowl. And then it kind of fell apart on them, but they've slowly built it back up. By the way, your Raiders just dealt Jacoby Myers, too. He's going to Jacksonville for a 4th and a 6th round pick.
Why don't you ask him? Why are you asking me?
Well, but we're doing a show. This came out.
Well, because I've walked away from the Raiders.
Gotcha. Oh, okay.
I'm no longer a Raiders fan. I gave it up.
I love hearing that. That's
I can no longer say
ears.
I can no longer say your Raiders.
No.
Good. I love hearing that.
I walked away. To save my sanity, I've walked away.
I love that. That's good.
Okay.
Lloyd, you're invited.
No, I won't. Won't do it.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
Let's get over there, Hans.
How about all 3 of us jump on this Broncos truck and see if we could take it somewhere nice?
We can all believe together.
Never mind.
Okay. Careful. All right. Spin it, Lloyd.
Picking up a loss from some guys in Boise.
So the Boise State Broncos, you saw across the college basketball landscape, there were either really big matchups like Villanova or BYU, or teams were playing Division II schools.
Oh, yeah.
Well, last night, look, Utah State, they played Westminster, Division II school, won 105-52 or something like that. Boise State welcomed in the Sea Warriors of Hawaii Pacific, not University of Hawaii, Rainbow Warriors. No, this is Division II, Hawaii Pacific Sea Warriors. They play in a gym that seats 800 people. And
the Sea Warriors?
The Hawaii Pacific Sea Warriors went and beat Boise State 79-78.
Oh, that's tough times.
Yeah.
Tough times for Boise State Bronco fans.
That's not a what we would call a quality loss. But they were trailing at halftime, and they held on and got the victory. Boise had a chance to win it at the buzzer, hoisted up in desperation 3. Really had a bad offensive set. Never got a good look at it, and the upset of the night. I love it when Division II beats.
Is that even Division II?
Yeah, they're Division II, barely.
Watching their Homer beat writers whine about how embarrassing it was awesome.
Boise State has the most annoying beat writers on the planet. And, they're like, this is the worst loss in the history of Boise State basketball, which actually could be true.
He ain't wrong.
I know we got to go, and I know this isn't on the will, but I wanted to ask you, do you know anything about the Utah Warriors and what happened?
I don't know why, but, yeah, they've shut it down.
Utah's top-flight rugby franchise will not be back after the 2025 campaign. 8-year professional Utah Warriors rugby franchise is going out of business for the 2026 season.
Yeah.
They just announced it this morning. It was the first time I'd seen it. Utah Warriors CEO Kimball Yar revealed the decision in letters to fans a day after informing Major League Rugby of the club's decision of indefinitely suspending the rugby operations. Yeah. I was a little bit shocked because I felt like they were starting to make up some ground here in the state. And where we are a state that, is we have a vibrant beautiful Polynesian culture here.
Yeah.
And they love and embrace rugby. I know that we've got a lot of options in this state, but people want options. I felt like they were doing a good job.
Yeah.
They stepped up their marketing.
Yeah, they
going into this last season.
Yep, they made appearances on our show.
Saw them on billboards. Saw them on nightly news. I felt like they stepped up their presence. I just wonder if you get to a point and you're like, I'm done putting in the money, or
Yeah.
I'm done putting in the effort, or
And that's
I don't know.
Usually, there's somebody that's the money guy, and he's like, look, I need to see an ROI, and I don't see a path going forward where I'm going to get an ROI, so I'm going to shut it down.
Well, I just want to say to the owners, the CEO, the players, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
And, I just know people, they have a dream and they put their money into that dream and they fight their butts off to make it work and they try to promote it. And we got to meet a lot of them before this last season got going. They're great people and great players and great management and great coaches with big aspirations. And this just sucks.
Yeah, it does.
It just sucks. And I remember getting out of the AFL, coming into radio.
Did you see it coming in the AFL?
Yeah, my offensive coordinator, when I was with the New Orleans Voodoo, pulled me aside at a dinner. And he was a mainstay in the AFL. And he said, this was before I came out to Utah and finished my time here with the Blaze. He said, we've got about 5 years left max. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. Yeah, they're burning the wick at both ends. This league is run out of money. Because there was a lot of former NFL players that came in with their agents, including me and others, came in with agents and negotiated bigger contracts than probably should have been put out there. And I think that just started to grow more and more. They were trying to grab the NFL product, and then they made the deadly decision to make it a one-way game.
Yeah.
I think it was my final year in the AFL. They made it more of a one-way because the two-way game is what separated it. And I remember jumping into radio, really jumping back into just college football and being an analyst and trying to bring that side of it to the radio and watching the AFL fold and thinking, it's a heartbreaker, man, because I know how much it meant to Robert Garf.
Yeah.
And I know how much it meant to John Garf and Matt Garf. There's never been a better owner than Robert Garf. And I worked for Tom Benson when I was in New Orleans. I worked for Jim Irsay when I was in Indianapolis. Those are great guys, great owners. Robert Garf just had a real personal touch, brought us all into his home. It was so fantastic. And they put so much money into the AFL, and they were clicking along.
Oh, yeah, they were doing well.
They were clicking along, and they were doing great. And this community really embraced them. And then watching it shut down and thinking, man, there's a lot of broken hearts. So to the Warriors organization, I can feel you. I sure love your effort. Appreciate what you attempted to do here in this state, and I hope to see you back at some point.
All right, we'll wrap this thing up next. Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.